Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Welcome, champions, to another episode of the Perspektiv podcast. I am Kwame Ose,
I am Dylan Elias.
And I'm Izzy Castillo.
and this is where we tune the heart of mentoring. Let's go! What's going on, Dylan?
That makes sense to me. Thank you. Thank you
makes
for
a
the
difference,
clarification. Yeah, this whole time
Yeah.
I thought Kwame was saying tuning in to the heart of mentoring, like you're tuning into our channel. But what he meant was like we're tuning it like a guitar.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Collaboration, calibrating.
Communication is key. Good morning, everybody.
Facts. All right, hey, let's start. We're kind of pressed for time. Izzy's having technical difficulties. I'm glad it's not me that's having the technical difficulties today. I'm actually set up. I put 2 cameras today. I got my backup just in case.
Oh, this man came prepared.
Hey man, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So I gotta learn from my from my failures, right?
Let's go.
All right. How's everybody's week? How's everybody's week?
Good. A lot of fun stuff happening this week, I say. It's the end of February too, so we're going to a new season for all the astrologers out there.
Full moon tonight,
Full
right?
moon today. Feeling it. That's why my technology is not working.
Yeah, everything's out of whack. Right?
Yeah, I got a good howl in last night, but
Wolfman.
the Wolfman.
Wolverine.
I will say, you know how people talk about like, oh, I'm getting older. I can't drink like I used to. When I was a kid, I used to go out Friday night, Saturday night, like it didn't matter. Now my body can't handle it. I'm not really a big drinker, but I'll tell you this week, I've been going to the gym a lot because the weight room's back open, like I was saying last time. And I've been doing a couple workouts a day. And yesterday I could barely get out of bed. I was like, my body should be good by now. It's been almost a week and a half, but I was like, oh, I'm getting old. Getting old.
It's starting to stiffen up.
Yeah. So yoga. I skipped 2 days of yoga and my back felt it. So I had to get back on the grind this morning. So I'm feeling good, feeling great.
Tell them, preach that yoga. Let's go. My week, I had a really good week too, to tell you the truth. 2 nights ago or 2 days ago, I had a presentation at Nipissing University. Shout out to all the Lakers. It was a good presentation. It was good, but I'll tell you this was one of my most challenging presentations, because as I was speaking, I had to all of a sudden have to multitask while I was speaking because the person who organized it ended up making me the host for some reason. So when the late stragglers were coming in, I had to admit them into the room while I'm in mid speech. So I kind of mastered a new craft because I don't think anybody could tell that I was doing 2 things, but mentally it was kind of messing me up. But it was a good speech, and I grew from it. So shout out to all the Lakers. Let's go.
Gee, so he clearly didn't watch this podcast and realize how bad you are with technical stuff to make you that.
Yeah, I think he just didn't actually. I might throw shots, but yeah, he might not have been the best technically sound person. So it's an honest mistake. It's all good as long as the message got across, right?
Dope. Okay, well, I got a good. It's not really a question, but maybe in our little introduction thing, it's I guess it is kind of a question, but
this is the question for today.
No, it's not the question for the day. It's like a starter question that it might turn into the question of the day. Who knows? Let's. I just read this and I was like, that would be a cool icebreaker, a cool little introduction for us all to kind of weigh in on and see how long it takes us. Sometimes I think it's only going to take a couple minutes, and then like 50 minutes later, the episode's over. So I got another one if we get to it. But what do you guys think about this? This is someone I know. Well, not someone I know well, but someone an acquaintance will say. And they were kind of browsing our website and they came across a phrase and she wanted to know what is the heart in mentoring. What does that mean to you, and like what does it mean? I'm kind of like, why did you put it on the website? So I thought we could all do a quick quick touch on why we came to that, because that didn't come easy. I mean, it came easy in a way, but we had a lot of discussion
Yeah, yeah.
around it and how to word it. So
That was
um,
strategically thought of
yeah.
strategically. So I don't know who wants to start. I feel like this is Izzy's gonna finish it off because this is her. So I'll just do the first part. Um, I just feel like with anything in life, anything you do in life, your heart needs to be in it. You know, your heart needs to be in it. You need to have some type of compassion. You need to be emotionally driven to do. You know, with pride, as we keep saying all the time, when you have pride in something, you do it even better. You're more invested in it, right? There's a certain level of energy that's put into it. So when you have heart into mentoring, it's just a different thing, because it's not just about speaking to somebody. You're speaking with somebody. You care about them. And then the other part is, you want to touch on that?
Yeah. The heart of mentoring. We all have very unique design hearts that are crafted through an art piece. So our hearts are masterpieces to our passion that we do, our drive to our calling, our purpose, everything we do in mentoring. And with the heart of mentoring, the art part is purposely capitalized because we want that to be the thing that everyone looks at, that everyone that does this job or anyone out there doing their work, everyone does it in their own style, from their own lived experiences, and bringing in what they want to put out and impact they want to have in the world. So your art is your masterpiece. So go out there and do that art and bring out that creativity, that light in people, light in yourself, and that would be felt all over from people that are surrounded by you. So the heart of mentoring is the core of your own art design piece that you're going to be mastering through life.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know if I have to speak after that. Jeez. Yeah, that was it, man. I remember we had a disagreement. You guys remember that I wanted it to say art, and you guys convinced me on the heart piece. But at first I wasn't sold on that. And I think I was really coming from the spot of like kind of making what we do, making this job a form of artistic expression, which I think it's not viewed as that. It's viewed as a job. And a lot of what we do is, like Izzy just said, like if you're a painter and you got a canvas, like I could teach you how to make a tree in a certain way, but you could make a tree in a completely different way. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's totally different. So every time I wake up, every time I go out to the world to do what I do, I literally think of it as a canvas, and like how can I do this today? It might be different than I did it tomorrow, but pushing my own boundaries and pushing what I'm capable of. And when you kind of approach it like that, when you approach it as a craft, it becomes more fun. And again, you can't do that. You can't do that unless your heart's in it. You can't
Facts.
fake that. So that's when you guys kind of convinced me about the heart part of
Hmm.
the art. Because
Yeah.
people don't do this kind of work for if they don't love it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I thought that was a cool question that maybe we should touch on, but I really wish maybe I'll edit this so Izzy goes last, because that was like trying to follow up a Kwame speech. Like, what am I saying right now?
The
He-
why. It's the why. That's our why.
exactly.
Everyone has to, when people go into things and they're like, oh, sorry, I feel like my phone is staticky right now. So edit this
No,
piece.
you're good.
No, you're good.
You're
You're
good.
good.
Okay. Every time with the why, we all need to know what our why is, because everything from the why is just from there. It's felt, everyone can see it, you can feel it. And if you're not discovering your why, it's hard to be grounded in the things you do and go back if you're dealing with stress or different life situations that are challenging. And in your job, sometimes people get burnt out and they forget the why. And it's always good to go back into that, because I know with mentoring, all of us, or teaching, anything roles that you have, It's always can get at times overwhelming, and burnout is a big thing right now in the work field. So when you look at your why, you just get grounded into that drive again of like going back to the roots.
Hmm. And I just felt like from when we were discussing the name and the slogan, I just felt like the slogan was totally coincided with the name of our podcast and our group. You know, your art is your perspective, just like what you just said. So it kind of goes hand in hand, you know. So it was kind of magical how it all is like kind of pieced together. So yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Oh.
Do we have a question or what? Izzy, how much percent you got?
I'm at 30% on my computer.
30%. Let's.
All right, let's go.
Let's
So Izzy's experiencing a power outage right now. So she found a way. She's using her previously charged computer and hotspot. So, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Let's go. You guys ready?
All right, let's go.
I
Drum
got a
roll.
question. Okay, how do you build a culture within a school, team, or organization?
First word that came to my head was lead by example. No, leading by example. When you're leading by example, the work it doesn't feel like work. When you're leading a team or you're surrounded by other people, people see your leadership. They won't call it management. They would say leadership. So I think that was important. Something that I always like to think about whenever I'm in any role, that I want to be able to lead by example. So the things that I put out and the things that I say or expect are the same things that I'm putting that on myself, and people feel that. So it's it just builds respect. It builds a space where everyone feels equal. Everyone has a say, and everyone can be part of that positive change and culture that you want to bring in whatever environment that you're trying to do that with.
Mm-hmm. I think this is kind of a little bit personal to me, but I feel like this is something we can all incorporate in our lives in one way, shape, or form. Establishing a culture is a process. It's a process. Here's the thing. Everybody under the sun, everybody in this world wants to be a part of something. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be a part of a community. Now, getting involved with the community is dependent on what the community is about. So I'd say in order to establish a culture within your school environment, you need to first and foremost have a foundation, set pillars. Okay, whatever the pillars are, what do you value? What's your mission, right? What's your vision? Have pillars, and then from there, live it out. Okay, from there, live it out. Because like I said, we live in a copycat world. We live in a world where people will copy each other. We live in a world where people follow each other, hence Instagram, right? So if you have something that coincides with what other people believe in, or you have something that seems cool, you create this vision or this elaborate community that is opening. It's a safe space. It's something that's positive, something that's prideful, that people feel like they're welcomed, involved, that the people on your team wear your gear. People on your team show pride in what they're wearing. They seem happy. They're part of the community. They're involved. They're included. That's gonna permeate throughout your school, and before you know it, like you'll be like, K Nation, let's go.
and and right there, you just heard from the man who literally changed an entire school's culture. Like, it started with a football team, expanded into a weight room, expanded to every other facet of that school, whether it be dance, basketball, culinary arts. Like that K, you changed the logo, you changed the slogan. Like, don't be humble over here. Like, you made that whole school different from when you started. And the thing that was funny for me was when I first got into, like, I started with you, right? You asked me to come on your coaching staff. And so after that, when I left, when I started doing these other things, like, with the Ravens, or especially within Fort McKay, like, you had already laid that blueprint for me. Because there's a lot of, as you know, like, we grew up in a different place, in a different area, in a different, like, the way things work in a bigger city are not the way things can work up here. So I couldn't necessarily use things that I used in high school or university and apply them to here. So the fact that you had already like broke ground and kind of laid the foundation and gave me a blueprint to take with me, I kind of wonder what I would have, like, how long that process would have taken for me had it not been for everything I saw with you. Because, like, I literally just stole your entire, like, blueprint and applied it. Like, I added my own little flavors as I went, but um that was really powerful for me and led to a lot of success. And I think, like Izzy was just saying, lead by example. Like, the first thing that, like, we did in the off season, we go work out, and we would work out. Like, we wouldn't go in there and just train the
Or just
kids,
watch the
like,
kids.
yeah, or like put something up on the board and kick back and sip coffee. What? No, like, we're getting it in. We were, like, actually getting a solid workout. And that's something that is not done. Like, I don't see that anywhere else, where the coaches are working out with the kids. And I mean, like, sweat dripping down, and the kids feed off of that kind of energy. But that's the same thing that I've been doing. Like, even yesterday, I go in the gym with Xander. Like, I'm not sitting in the corner telling him what to do. I'm sore. Like, he spots me, I spot him. Like, that's what it's about. And that's how you start building that culture. So big props to you for figuring that out. Cause I know you had, like, a couple tough years where you were all on your own trying to see, like, what the heck to do. um
Mhm.
and kind of, like, figuring all that out in an environment where you were not comfortable. Like, you were new here, right? Like, you never been in a small town. You never had a football program with 8 people who
Mhm.
half of them couldn't even spell football. Like, that's crazy how
Yeah.
far we came. And then same thing with Izzy. Like, I feel like everywhere you go, you're, like, reinventing programs. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you took that over, you, like, that program was transformed. Like, you kind of took it in a whole different direction. And then especially, like, what you're doing now. So I guess I'm trying to get more specific into the question, like, about literally what you guys did. Give us some, like, hard examples. Give us some good stories.
A
I think
lot of you go.
you could go.
A lot of for me at the beginning, because when I had to be leading a team, that was a whole new experience for me. And a lot of the thing that I had to do was do some reflection and be like, what do I want to put out there? What do I want to create? What kind of team? And what do I want people in my team to be feeling, to be coming to work and giving it their all? So for me, I had to go to, like, the roots of why are they there? Who was a mentor to you? What, like, finding out what was important to them. So as a leader, I was able to incorporate those values and those passions that they had in the things that they wanted to do going forward. So for me, that was a big task, tool thing. So I think I even did, like, brainstorming sessions of, like, where did they want to see the program grow. So it wasn't just my vision, it was our vision going
Mm,
forward. Um,
good. What? Say that again. That's a
it
quotable.
wasn't just my vision, it was our vision. And people forget that sometimes when they want to build a positive environment or a culture in any atmosphere that they're in. So when you're looking at that, you got to incorporate and include everyone in there and getting an idea of where they want to go as a team. And I think that's important. And and always checking in. I was always someone who checked in with everybody because I knew that beyond this job, there was life.
Mhm.
And sometimes people forget to check in on staff. And for me, that was important. So I don't know. For me, it's something that's weird to talk about because I'm pretty humble about those kind of situations. But I know for me, it was a lot of, like, making it a little deeper than just being like, where do you want to see us in 5 years in this organization? It was like, where do you want to be in 5 years, and where do you want to be part of this team in 5 years, and what
Mhm.
impact do you want to have? So kind of like a check-in.
Yeah. Um, Good job. I'll say this. It With anything in life, it's one thing to want to do something. So it's one thing to want to establish a culture. It's one thing to want to be a leader, but it's another thing to actually go out and set out and do it because it's not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen overnight. You have to lay the roots. You have to lay the foundation. You have to lay the original bricks and consistently lay brick after brick after brick. It might take like 3 years, right? The question is, how deeply rooted are you into establishing this culture? The culture can't just be about you. Like what I said, you have to figure out your vision, your mission, and your values, right? And then from there, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. So you have to be also open-minded. The culture might not work. You know, you might not get the students or the players that you want initially, but what can you do to attract them? So you have to be constantly reinventing. One thing that we've been doing with every team I've been in, even right now with Queens, with my receiving squad, like I've established, like my receiving squad is our own team within the team. Like we have our family, we have our slogan, we have everything, you know. And every practice is like, every practice with them is like a motivational speaking engagement with them, because that's just me. That's who I am, and that might not be the way you are. You got to figure out what your talents are, what your gifts and talents are, and how you can serve your culture, serve your school, serve your team with that to create a better version of that team and create an environment where also your students and your players feel like their opinions are received. They could come up to you and give suggestions. They could come up to you and tell you what's going on in their lives. If they feel like, oh, this is Mr. High and Mighty, I can't say nothing to this teacher, I can't say nothing to this coach, this principal, then you don't have a culture. What you have is a dictatorship, right? And that's not what we're trying to preach. We want to have an inclusive environment. So I highly encourage everybody to create an inclusive environment. And then every year, as I was kind of saying before I rambled on, be adaptable, right? Reinvent yourself. Have different slogans. Every year, what I do is I have a different slogan with every team I've ever been on. I have a different slogan. That's like our goal for the year, you know, from humble and hungry to above the line to work and earn. And it goes on. Pick up the shovel. It goes on. Every year we have something. That's our it. That's our thing. You know, when the push comes to shove, we go back to that slogan. So figure out a slogan, you know, create an environment that's inclusive and welcoming, and hey, establish those roots. And from there, I'm pretty sure you'll find your own culture and your own thriving system that you can just carry on. Before you know it, the players and the students just keep propelling it forward, and you're kind of just chilling, you know, being part of it.
Two important points. I think one Izzy brought up, and that's something that I try to do with every project I take on, even literally the shirt I'm wearing right here, the Northern Spirits.
Spirit Nation.
Let's go. I let the kids, they pick the colors, they design the jerseys, which thank you, Triumph made amazing come to life. And one of the kids drew up this logo, actually, that ended up being our mascot on our football helmet. But that was a collaboration, like, between everybody. Like, what I did was I got everybody to draw, and then I let everybody vote on what they like. I let everyone come up with the kids chose everything, right? They chose the name, they chose so when they're wearing it, it's not like it's they don't view it. It's not like Dylan's team. Like Dylan did this, Dylan did that. It's our team because they had a part in all of that. And that goes back to what we were talking about the gym. Remember about those quotes? And then I asked you guys for quotes, but I said the majority of the quotes I want in that gym are from the kids. So I don't want them to look up and see like who this guy named. I don't know who this guy who told me what, like who, they don't care, but they know this kid. They know that guy, that they can look at the board and see people they know who said these things. So now the gym becomes theirs. It becomes like a part of them. And when you feel like you're part of something, everything that Kwame just said, it only breeds more care and more time and more excellence to whatever you're. Sorry, my cat fell off the tree. But yeah, and then number two, like yeah, what Kwame was saying about inclusiveness. I remember we had a big thing going in Trinity in the gym, and I had a lot of kids who had never played football, who had never done anything athletic, who were like, yo, I don't know what you guys are doing in there, but could I come try that out? And Bradley comes to my mind. I don't know if you remember.
I was thinking him too. That's what I was thinking.
Only because this is the most like awkward, like unathletic, like love you, Bradley, but he knows. Like had no business being on a gym or a football field. Didn't even look like he could maybe like do one push-up. And he was like, and I told him, I was like, well, why don't you come work out? And he was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like, oh, it's scary. The music's loud. Everyone's banging weights in there. I was like, just come once, see how it goes. And he walks in and, you know, the captains of the football team and the big guys who've been working out for a long time, they're all in there. And I said, hey, this is Bradley. And they're like, all right, Bradley, like, get ready. Come on. We're working out. Like they didn't question why he was there. They didn't tell him not to be there. They didn't make him feel awkward. Okay, coach brought him in. He's part of us now. Let's go. And he enjoyed himself and he got better and he started coming every day. And it was the first time he felt like he was really part of something. And to this day, like I ran into him just in August and he was with like two of the players from the team. So that carried on like that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Like those relationships he was able to build during that time still carried into today. And he never played on the football team. He did, but he never played on the field. Like it wasn't about that. It was about
he got in a couple plays.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bradley. I see you.
Towards that of the game. He got his time.
Okay. But my point was he found something in there. And I'm using Bradley as an example, but we did that with a ton of kids.
There was a bunch of them. There was a
ton of kids. And that's when that culture started permeating throughout the school because it wasn't exclusive to this type of person or this type of person. It was for everybody. And if you wanted to come in and put the work in, you could be part of this. And that's all you had to do was want to put the work in and not quit and not whine. And so I thought that was amazing in what you built there. What we built there was that part of it, bringing kids in who maybe at first look wouldn't seem like they were supposed to be there, but in the end they were supposed to be there because that's what contributed to the bigger picture.
That's facts. Yeah, honestly, I don't have much more to say except just create an inclusive environment. That's it. It starts with that. What can the people involved in your community, what can they take from that to add on to their lives? You know, like you both with the people that are in your environment or in your teams or youth groups, you're building them up for life when they leave you and go to the real world, right? You're building them up. So I think that has to be a constant thing that we're thinking of as mentors and leaders of what can I do to prepare this person for the real world? Because you're not always going to be there, you know. So it's the day-to-day lessons that you're able to teach them both verbally and physically through your actions. Because like I always say, kids are always watching. If you're going to say something, you better practice it, right? So kids are always watching, and be an example. That's it. Yeah. More of the story, you know, practice what you preach. Simple as that. Okay. And anybody else got anything to say?
Have key players on your team, or team, any team you're in, have key players, because it's kind of like what me and Dylan was talking about, like that, having the right people around. And, you know, if you have a strong team that really all believes in putting that impact out there the same way that you all are there for, then it's going to happen. But when you have people who are not aligned to the vision and the mission and all these things, and they're not key players in it, because it will deter from where you want to go. So look around you, surround yourself with the people that build you, that empower you, like these two right here, these two fine men next to me. But yeah, just making sure you're surrounded by the right people, because when you're working from the heart, it's something that you need to make sure that people are there for the same reasons.
Facts. All right. I feel that was a good way to end.
I got nothing on that.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, everybody.
Hey.
Oh, what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that was my outro. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Well, that's this week's episode. Remember, this is just our perspective on mentoring. What's yours? See you next week.